like as a nice positive start to the show, what is it that you're enjoying about doing Gaming the System? Why do you enjoy doing this show? And I'm going to start with Alex.
Oh, okay. I was actually thinking in the countdown to this episode, I actually really enjoy doing stuff live, which is really, really interesting because I usually, one would think, as the introvert that I am, I would absolutely hate doing something like this. But actually, over the last 6 months, I have grown to actually really enjoy it. And there's a kind of adrenaline you get from just chatting about stuff live and being live and just sort of coming up with answers to questions on the fly also, which is something you would think is quite hard to do, but actually it turns conversations into sort of natural conversations rather than sort of pre-rehearsed ones, which is always quite interesting. And just generally, I just really enjoy chatting to everybody, and I think we've formed a really great group, and we have some really great conversations that need to be had. I just really enjoy the kind of atmosphere we've got going here. I think it's really great.
I like live too. I can't be bothered with trying to polish things and make them pre-rehearsed, so live works much better for me. So, Jem, what are you enjoying about doing Gaming the System?
Well, I mean, Alex, everything that Alex has said, I agree with. I've just really enjoyed talking to you guys about gaming. And I think I've said before, I'm very passionate about gaming and I'm very passionate about feminism. And so it's just really nice to have an opportunity to talk about it and to get some of those thoughts and ideas out there, but also to start that conversation and just see where it goes. So, I think that's really, I've really enjoyed that, really loved that. And it's lots of fun.
Cool. And Matt, what are you enjoying?
Just everything about it is just epic. Just having a podcast, being on a podcast, podcasts are my favourite thing. Being on a podcast is awesome. Number one. Being on a podcast about gaming and feminism are the next two awesome. And the fact that it's so elegant. We haven't missed a week. We've got a schedule. We've got a YouTube page. Having the YouTube page is the most awesome thing ever. I love that. That's so exciting. And we've got so much stuff on it. And yes, I agree. Doing things live in one take is the most effective and easiest way to do anything, because you show up, you do it for an hour, and then it's done. And to be able to because feminism is a perspective on the entire world, you can't just pick and choose where you talk about feminism because it's everywhere and the patriarchy is everywhere. So all of it coming together, coalescing into this awesome place.
Pretty cool. What you were saying then, I mean, I suppose what am I enjoying about it? All of the things you guys have said, and then the cumulative effect of it. I suppose if I was going to add any extra thing to it, it would be, it's kind of rekindled my love of gaming, which, considering that I already spent probably, I'm not going to admit how many hours a week I spent gaming before we did this, but I think I was in a bit of a gaming rut. I think I was in a rut with my gaming. I think I was very much just like, I was just playing Rust all week, every week, and occasionally having a little break when it was pissing me off and then playing something else. But I wasn't really exploring gaming and I wasn't thinking about gaming in the way that I am now. And it's been really nice as well to see how, as you say, Matt, because you can't then ignore feminism, because it's part of all the things that we look at. And obviously it's such a big part of the activism and the lives that we live, being able to have those conversations, because you guys are the only people I know who care about feminism and gaming. So it's really nice to have some people to talk to about those things and see how they connect and how they work together.
Also on the side, so another thing I've enjoyed is working in a. So we think of this as a group project. Every time you try and accomplish something with more than one person, it's a group project, just like in school, just like in university. And it's so rare to find one that actually is, number one, enjoyable to be a part of, two, is effective, and that should be. It's so rare. It's so rare to you don't get those two things. Then if you've never experienced them in a positive way, you think, well, all group activities are always going to be shit, aren't they? But it can be good, and also that this is a form of activism in that we are sharing this very niche space. So this is the fun activism. There's the activism where you stand doing a stall. There's an activism where you raise money, and then there's activism where you use media to share your voice. And it's nice to have some fun activism.
I actually saw an article this week that was, I can't remember who shared it, so apologies if it was one of you, but it was the top tips for in activism as an introvert. And interestingly, one of the things on there was doing a podcast, which I was like, I mean, I'm not an introvert, I will admit that. I don't know. I think those terms are so reductive anyway. It's like, I'm noisy and loud, but it doesn't mean I always want to be around. But anyway, this isn't about me. The point was, I just thought it was surprising that they recommended a podcast as something that an introvert could do for activism. But actually, as you say, Matt, it's a fun kind of activism. It's sharing out these thoughts. And I think it's really important for people to know there's other people out there who think the same way they do. Which has been one of the most enjoyable things, is then searching out on the internet for those people who do have these thoughts as well, and how we can connect with them.
You just reminded me of what I said a long time ago about I don't really like people. And that can be mistaken for being an introvert. But if an extroverted person is someone who wants to engage with anyone, no matter who comes up, an introvert might be someone who genuinely finds it difficult being out and about with people. Or you can be an introvert whereby you don't care about the vast majority of people because you don't enjoy spending time about them. You can care about them as people and in an intersectional way, because that's what feminism is. It's saying that everyone matters equally. But at the same time, it doesn't mean you need to be going, oh, there's a person over there I don't really like, so I'm going to not have spent any time or energy in my life with them. I'm going to stay at home and play games and talk to a select few people.
I think that's one of the reasons
just reminded me of that.
Interaction in gaming really intimidates me, because the sort of stuff you've talked about, Jem, like that being in a guild and sort of those sort of interactions, they terrify me, because as you say, Matt, that is sort of having to work on a much more personal, interpersonal level. Put me in front of a room of 500 people and ask me to give a speech. No problem. Happy. Fine. Ask me to try and form a long-term connection with some people and keep everything on a positive note all the time. Not that terrifies me, but what's been lovely is we've managed to do it in gaming the system.